Okay, so about repolarization, we'll still use the same videos from the teachers, but please like the videos in the original YouTube channel. Okay, okay. So let's go with it.
Out of the cell. The movement of these positive ions will repolarize the cell, allowing the cell to have a negative internal charge relative to the positive extracellular charge.
So one more time, what is happening here? The potassium channels are opening during the repolarization. So we had first the depolarization. So during the depolarization, the sodium channels were open and the sodium ions got into. As I pointed out earlier, this changed the electric potential. So a lot of positively charged particles got into the cell. Yes? And now you want to get back to original electric potential. How to do it fast? The fastest way is to get out the positively charged ions. Yes? But it's hard to get the sodium ions out fast because we have the difference of the gradients. Yes? So we have the far higher concentrations of the sodium out than in. Far faster is to get the potassium ions out because we have far higher concentration of the potassium inside the cell than outside of the cell. So during the repolarization, we are mainly pushing the potassium ions out, as you can see in the animation.
The change in polarity will also close the potassium gate. At this time, you might...
So the change in the polarity will close the potassium gate. What does it mean? That when the job will be done, so when we'll get back to the normal polarity, yes, so we have negative inside, positive outside, the potassium channels would be closed, and we will not waste more time on it, yes, we will not waste more potassium on it, let's say.
think that the cell is ready to receive another signal, but it can't. If the sodium gates opened, the sodium ions would not move. In order for ions to move through their channels, they have to be able to move down the electrochemical gradient. The positive sodium ions aren't attracted to the positive environment outside of the cell, so they won't move. Another signal can't be sent until the sodium and potassium ions have moved back to their resting potential positions. But this means moving against concentration gradients, which means energy must be used.
So in order to get fully to the original situation, that the next action potential can be invoked, we need also to have actively get back to the original situation. So one more time, a refractory period is a period when we cannot invoke the next action potential, when the electricity cannot flow through this area that we had the refractory period previously.
During the refractory period, the sodium-potassium pump will move 3 sodium ions out of the cell and 2 potassium ions into the cell with 1 ATP molecule. This
ATP molecule, one more time, is the molecule that is representing energy in the cell. Yes, so when some process is using energy, this process is nearly always using also the ATP.
Must happen constantly and rapidly, so the brain uses a significant amount of your body's energy. In a matter of milliseconds, the sodium-potassium pumps will restore resting potential and another action potential can move through. Nerve impulses are actually waves of action potentials, which means ions are flowing in and out of the cell in a wave-like pattern. Because of the refractory period where sodium ions will not flow out of the cell by diffusion, action potentials can only move in one direction. They begin at the dendrites.
So this is a very important, yes. So this is the main function also. This is how the refractory period is used. So the refractory period is used not to propagate back the signal. However, about this, about the propagation of action potential, we'll talk more in the next videos.
And they end at the axon terminals. This wave-like region where the action potentials are flowing are referred to as the local current. The flow of sodium through one gate will trigger the flow of sodium in the next gate, but sometimes there isn't enough sodium to trigger an action potential. Using an oscilloscope to display the membrane...
Okay, I suppose for today it's enough. Thank you very much.